Welcome to the Red Podcast, a place where bold, inspired, outrageously courageous, and just a tad bit naughty women leaders come together. I'm Elayne Kalila, and I'm the founder of the Priestess Presence Temple, a sisterhood of over 80,000 women. For the past 25 years, I've had the great pleasure and privilege of supporting, inspiring, catalyzing, and initiating women to remember who they are. The Red Podcast is a place where you can come to lean into your edges, listen for that which yearns to be expressed more fully through you, and to say yes to the places that probably scare you. More importantly, I'm going to be talking with some amazing women who are spiritual and grounded, and we're going to be chatting about what it takes for each one of us to step into the legacy of our purpose and fully bring it to the world that we're here to co-create. Your presence is a gift, so I say bring it. We're here to listen to your red, your leading edge, that place of evolution within you. I hope you enjoy the conversations. I am so excited today because I am bringing to you one of my favorite people. In fact, she's my BFF. I've learned that term from her, BFF.
BFF.
Right. This is Mellissa Seaman. Hello, love.
Hi, love.
I have lured Mellissa over to my house on the pretenses of a cup of tea. And I am inviting her today to be part of the Red Podcast. Wild, outrageous, ferociously tender, bold, gorgeous women talking about what it means to be on our evolutionary edge. So Mellissa is many, many things. She is an earth mama. She is a woman of the earth and the woman of the skies. She brings this delicious combination together where I would say that she is rooted in the earth, but her branches reach high up into the cosmos. She's a channel of genius. You'll be hearing lots about that today. She actually runs a business called Channel Your Genius Academy, and she has an amazing quiz that's part of that called the Soul Gift Quiz. We're going to be talking all about that today. But the main reason that I wanted to bring Mellissa in is because I know that you're germinating all kinds of new things. And at the Red Podcast, we're really fascinated with the places that are daring us to grow beyond where we have been. In other words, our evolutionary edges. And so I'd love to begin this gorgeous conversation by just asking you that question straight up. Mellissa, my darling, what is your red evolutionary edge?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's a powerful question. And, you know, for so many years now, I've been focusing with business. You know, I'm a former attorney and a Stanford graduate and I've been doing a lot of business consulting and intuitive business work, helping intuitives learn to do business, helping business people learn to be intuitive, and really leaning into that aspect, the anchoring everything to business. And that's safe. Like, that's super safe for me.
It's really been safer.
I'm a real good business strategist, blah, blah, blah. Like,
really
all the analytical stuff and the translating stuff and the words and the marketing is like second nature to me, you know? And over the past, I don't know, things bubble under the surface for a while, right? But what's really erupting now and has made itself known is that I am to focus more with the path of the rites of passage that have us as channels of genius become genius incarnate. Step into our full embodiment of our unique genius, the way that it channels through us, full bore, with our intuitive intelligence, totally on board, with our instinctual intelligence, fully activated and embodied, as well as our higher intellect intelligence, and the way that we are
so sexy.
It's so, you know, it all comes together there. No matter what arena we are leaders, we get to fully embody that genius that is ours to channel through. So it's rather strange and revolutionary and odd or whatever to consider that everyone's a channel.
Okay, so I have to stop you for all
Please.
of our listeners for
Okay,
a
do
moment.
it.
No, just because I want to back up with you for a moment. So I want to tell you something, a little secret about Mellissa here, because she's not telling you this right now, which is that Mellissa was kind of hiding out a little bit behind this whole business thing. Like it's easy. It was easy for her to be an intuitive business strategist, we might say, right? Helping other people. But what Mellissa really brings, and this is where I'm going to give you a little mirroring of your evolutionary edge, my love.
Okay, do
right?
it.
Which is part of what I do on the show. What you really bring is this incredible depth and gravitas and truth-telling and no bullshit, honest authenticity about what it is to be magic, to be shamanically linked to the earth, to work with earth magic, to work with our bodies, to work with our emotions, to work with our true human experience of being here. And you have this ability to be able to hold that within your presence. And one of the things I'm so excited about when I hear about Genius Incarnate and the book that you're about to write and the board game that she's developing, is this unveiling of the truer aspect of who you are. And that feels to me like what's really here. So within that, what I want you to talk about is, what is a genius?
Okay.
What does it mean to be a genius?
So we as people are conduits of genius.
Hell yeah.
We're vessels of genius. We're birthers of genius.
Woo!
And no one person is the genius. I
hope you're all listening to this.
No one person is the genius. It's like too often I hear people saying, "Oh, well, yeah, but that's that person's so smart. That person's such a genius." And I'm more curious about how when each of us are in our most open, ecstatic, connected, emotionally available, curious states, brilliant stuff moves through us, whether it's through words or movement or action. That's when the good stuff happens, and it happens through us, And so I've learned that genius is that, if people want to talk about human potential, that potential is our genius. And it's our job to open the channel and continue to expand our capacity as energetic and physical beings to channel through more of that genius that wants to flood through us. And to take responsibility for what we create in the world with that genius, because it's not that we just become ragdoll conduits, we're not just straws for God to blow through. We're also the instrument for, we are the co-creators with that genius.
Yes.
To use the genius that floods through us, that channels through us in our own unique way. And I liked the map for that is coming through, and that's the work, that's coming through now, is like to really understand, well, what kind of genius is mine, and what is the gift that I'm here to bring? That's like the soul gift quiz. What kind of things am I going to birth in the world then with that genius? And as I'm birthing things into the world with my genius, I'm going to be responsible for them. And I'm going to wield that power with integrity and with awareness and injustice as best as I can. So that's what genius really is.
I love it. So I have two questions for you on the back of that. And one question is, we're here gathering around a table of red women from throughout history who have gone through extraordinary lengths to express their genius. Against all the odds, basically. And what I'm curious about is, for us as women who are listening to this podcast and who are maybe feeling that place of like, oh, Mellissa, I'm not really a genius. I mean, who balk at that word, right? Or I don't consider myself to have any kind of genius. What would you say to that woman? or even the one who's leaning in and saying, well, I might have a genius, but is it really, what is it? I don't know. Right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm curious because I know that one of the big shadow wounds that we have experienced as women is being told that the way that we think, the way that we do things, and the way that we're wired isn't valuable and doesn't have a place in the culture. So tell me whatever wants to come through there.
Well, that's why we start with the soul gift.
Right.
You know, the soul gift quiz at soulgiftquiz.com. No, seriously. I just made this little quiz. It takes like 2 minutes. It's got 7 questions with pictures, but it identifies which of the 5 soul gift types you are. And the reason why I start there is because that type of gift is coming through you 24/7 since the day you were born. You give that gift in the world, and you can't not give it. I'm
fully chilled right now. You're gonna have to say the names of these 5.
Okay, so here's some examples. So. A messenger type. I'm a messenger type, so I'll start there. If you have the messenger soul gift type, it means even as a child, you were trying to find the right words for things. You were probably standing on the coffee table, giving songs or poems or speeches, trying to express your magnificent feelings and thoughts through words, you know? And as messengers, as we grow up, sometimes we're shushed and told, oh, that's silly, or you're so imaginative, but we're not really paid attention to in the oracle gift that we're actually trying to bring through. So when you take the soul gift quiz and you find out, oh, I'm a messenger, that's why. That's why it's so easy for me to communicate deeper things for people, to find the right words. That's why I care so much about being heard. Or perhaps you are a transmitter. A transmitter type, talk about not being recognized. A transmitter soul gift type is someone who enters this world and continues their whole life simply emanating a gorgeous healing energy. Like sprinkling the world with a gorgeous healing energy 24/7 every single day of their lives. And unfortunately, in this culture, we don't even have we don't have a job for that. We don't appreciate that. We certainly don't put that on the payroll. So a lot of transmitter types, and because transmitters are usually very sensitive, very empathic, quite magical. And that's actually like my business goal is all for those people, because it's hard. If you're a transmitter, it's like you have to find some excuse for people to pay you and understand what the heck you're bringing.
That's right.
And that's a great example of one that has been, like you said, silenced and devalued. But if you think back to the days of the temples,
right,
those kids would have been identified soon after birth. This is one of those emanating ones.
And they would have said, they're a priestess or priest. Get them in there. Right. We have a word for it, by the way.
Yes. And we're going to make sure that they have what they need, that they're fed, that they're kept pure, that they're kept safe so that they can.
And they're trained how to use those gifts.
Transmit this energetic gift that they have. And in today's world, it's a little more tricky. And frankly, that's why I had to build the Channel Your Genius Academy Business School, is because I felt a karmic duty to those transmitters to make sure they had a way of making money, getting their voices heard in the world. So, well, in one sense I was hiding it. In another sense, it was like I was checking that box that I knew I needed to give that to those folks. And I still run that and love that, actually. And then we have our creator types. The creators are the systems people. And you know them because even as kids, they think everyone should know what they know. Oh, Mom, don't you get it? And they see the way things work, and somehow they really do know it all. People, don't be such a know-it-all. Well, but they really do. Yeah. They intrinsically know things. It's as if they were a creator at the beginning of the world, and they just have, the creation codes are in them. They remember. And so, and creators sometimes are like, don't share your critique because, you're being too negative. Well, we really should be asking our creators to critique everything and help us evolve these damn systems, because they bring through the new organizational principles that are going to save the day. So those are just 3 types. And then there's also the explorer types, which are souls that are just constantly pushing the edges with everything in life and helping us expand. And the researchers who are very like, usually inward, kind of maybe nerdy, because they notice everything. They notice and see and witness everything. And unlike all the other types, they see it objectively. And so here's the 5 soul gift types. You are one of these. You probably also have a secondary one that backs you up. And those things are gifts you are giving 24/7. That is your genius birthing itself in the world, whether you notice it or not.
Right.
So are you a genius? I don't call anybody a genius, but I do call us channels of genius. And at a certain point, when we are fully embodied and all of our intelligences are activated and we've done the work to clear the way, to really open the channel to stand fully and let our genius embody through us, that's when I would call someone, wow, that's genius incarnate.
Yeah.
Genius incarnate. It's your genius becomes incarnated as you and through you. And you know these leaders, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but they have a mojo and an alignment that when they walk in the room, you're like, whoa.
That's right.
There's a presence, and it's
fully embodied.
And they would even tell, Oprah would tell you, look, it's not just my personality is not what makes me Oprah. It is the genius that she allows to flow through her and to do her best to do good things in the world. And that's why I would look at Oprah and say, well, here's genius incarnate. This is one version of what genius incarnate looks like.
Okay, so I'm going to weave back the thread, because now that we've explored what genius is, and y'all know now that you have a genius inside of you waiting to be revealed, and that there's a way to reveal that. What I want to go back to is, okay, so your genius has been evolving. And part of what I believe is that we are, as women who step into positions of leadership, that we are not just remembering the power of the feminine, but we are actually evolving the power of the feminine, and we're bringing it back into the world in a way that we're being called to change the outpicturing of what the world looks like. So I'm coming back to your evolutionary edge. So for you to step in to the power of what wants to come through you, what has been the biggest fear that you've had? What has been, what's there?
Well, I'm a 2 on the Enneagram, which means I'm a caretaker, and I really care whether people like me or not.
Aww.
You know what I mean? I really care. I want everybody to like me. And that has been my, both my great gift, because it anchors the deep empathetic gift that I have that allows me to see people's purpose and soul and to reflect that to them as a business plan. but it also has me hesitate sometimes to fully express. And as I'm writing the book about genius incarnate, and I'm laying out, because that's actively happening now, I'm writing the book, and as part of that, creating a board game, I'm spilling the beans. And I have reached a point, thank you, menopause, where I do give fewer Fs about what people think about me. I give so many fewer Fs, which is so lovely. And that is but that I think is probably the biggest dragon that I dance with, is, okay, and as a translator, there's some aspect of what will they think that's useful, because I want to translate for a certain people. I am here to reach out to professional creatives at a very high level. I'm working with people who are not necessarily versed in New Age lingo, and yet they're awakening strongly and innovative to such huge levels. So there's a dance with that dragon for sure. And I think in committing to quote unquote finally write the book, that's probably the big fear or dragon there is like, oh, but will they make fun of me? Will it get panned in reviews? I'm a straight A Stanford student, I can't do that. There's like a panic around losing my reputation, losing my respect.
Like that identity.
The identification as a successful,
to be taken seriously,
academic, and like whatever, definitely. And it's fun because I feel good because even as I'm bringing it up, I'm like, yeah, but whatever. Like I do feel like there's a ripeness to some of these things, and I think anyone who's getting pushed to their edge, there's just a certain point where there's nothing to do but jump. It's not like, well, maybe I'll stay here on the edge of the cliff. No, you're not. The wind is really strong and you're tired. You're just going to step right off. It's just time to go. And so I've definitely reached there.
There's something in what you're saying, which I think is, there's a rite of passage piece here that you spoke about, which is around menopause. And if you all didn't listen yet to Lisa Schrader's offering, we love her, on Magnificent Menopause, which was an earlier episode. I urge you to go back and listen to that. But what I think you're speaking to is a coming of age for you personally, but I also think that there's something about the collective coming of age of the feminine where we stand at a point where for us as women born into the 60s and 70s who are now in our 50s, right, that we really have such a different opportunity than the women who came before us.
Yes.
Than our mothers or our grandmothers.
Absolutely.
And that there's kind of this evolutionary collective edge, I think, that we're being pushed to, which is that if you have the privilege that we have at this point in time to be where we are, then for me, there is a place where it's like, you better get on and actually show up and bring everything you have to bring to the game of life. And that's what I'm witnessing in you, is that edge of like, if not now, when?
When?
Right. When are you going to do this? When are you going to be grown up enough? When are you going to be at the point where you have know enough? And it's like, that's what it comes down to. And I think for the women who are listening to this podcast, many of you like us are in your 50s or late 40s, maybe into your 60s. And there's a certain arrival that we're here to encourage each other with and to say, for goodness sakes, please bring it, would you?
Bring it.
I'll tell you a secret here. About a year and a half ago, Mellissa, we tend to be soul mirrors for each other. She turned to me one day and she said, "You know what, Kalila? I really just think it's time for you to peacock." Do you remember telling me that?
I want to see your peacock. I want you to shake your tail feathers out.
I want to shake. And I looked at her and I was kind of horrified. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And like Mellissa was speaking, like, what will people think of me, right? I had all of my stuff come up because I'm a servant leader. Right, that's how I see myself. Right, I'm all about building a platform for other people to stand on and to shine. And sure, I'm in the center of it, but I would never put out myself. And what she was pointing to was this part of me that I had been hiding because of my ego identifications of being liked and loved, or what if I put myself out there and I get judged and shamed and all the things, right? And I realized how that internalized oppression was still living within me. And so this is part of what I'm hearing you say, because your version of that was being a Stanford educated lawyer. My version of it was being like, oh, well, I'm a priestess, but I'm here to serve others. I'm not here to have a good time.
Or to show off my big fancy peacock butt.
Right.
Like to really show off feathers.
Exactly. But the thing is that we actually serve by showing up more fully in the unique, ridiculous wonderfulness of each one of us, which is a unique thing. So the more essence of you that I get to be in, the more I'm able to receive, and I'm empowered through that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right?
Yeah. And we get to show up and show off with our photos that we do together.
You know that word, show off, though? Come on.
I love show off.
Oh, my gosh.
I love show off.
And let's feel the shame around that for a second, darlings, because how many of you were ever told...
show off.
How many of you were told, as a young one, you're just showing off?
Quit showing off.
Oh, quit showing off. Oh, my God. Right. How many times were we told that?
Totally.
And I understand it. When there's an unbridled id in the room, it's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
But when there is a fully embodied woman in the room who is unabashedly showing,
prancing and showing it off.
Isn't that the best thing ever?
We all celebrate. We're like, yes!
Right?
Totally.
Like, from the yoni up, where you're like,
and that's the peacock right there. That's the peacock,
right?
You know, that strut. Like,
so why are we so freaking scared to do it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's why I'm doing this podcast. This is my coming out party.
Is your edge. Yeah,
it's my edge to come out here and say, you know what? I'm done with y'all hiding yourselves. So I want to ask you is what, so you're doing this book that you're going to put out there, and it's going to have all of your deeper stories in it, right? Of your accidentally becoming psychic, and these are all things you've spoken, but there's something about committing it to word.
Oh yeah,
that's
and
very
putting
different.
Your name on it as your primary book. Oh yeah,
right?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. So, what is it that is growing in you as a result? Like, how are you being changed through the process of daring to do this?
I just, I feel like I should say something dramatic, but it honestly just feels like,
yeah, that's right. It's a relief.
Like a relief and a relaxation, like an arrival. Like, when you walk in the front door of your house and you put your purse and your keys down and you walk into the kitchen and turn the kettle on. It feels like that. Like, oh, good, here we are. Here we are.
So that is how everyone else feels when they're around you in that place. When you allow that to be that level of authenticity, everyone else gets to relax down into theirs.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right? That's your transmitter. Right. That's your aspect, that's the transmitter. And I believe that it is when we settle into ourselves that we start to really bring our magic. And so there's something around that place I witness in you, and I want to witness in all women, of really allowing yourself to be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we stop, we have to ask this other question. A couple other questions for you.
Okay.
One is, you mentioned the book. Is there a title to the book yet? Does it have a working title?
The working title is Genius Incarnate. And there's going to be some kind of byline that explains what that is, the path of intuitive awakening,
coming
as
down
a
and in.
Professional creative or something like that. Like and it will be written for those folks who are opening as channels.
But it's still really all about this big rite of passage work, right? I mean,
same.
That's right.
That we all go through these rites of passage all through life, and they keep catching up with us. So that will be part of like the. It's like I've got this, you've seen it, the map on my wall, that just keeps building itself of the pathway. And I think,
it's like beautiful mind.
This is really, I'm like, well, this really can help people that are walking through these initiations on their own or with support to get it, that they're on a path. This is a path of opening the channel. This is, and it is measurable, and there is a reason and a rhyme and a rhythm to it. And, I think that's why I went to law school. That's why even though what I am is this deep, like, feminine channel you described, I do think that we're also here to create maps that we can use. It's so fun. It's so fun. And I see you doing that all the time with your systems, like really mapping out and creating systems for the things so that we're not only channeling energetically, but we're channeling into creations in the world.
My favorite thing to do.
So fun.
Okay, final question. I ask this to everybody. What does RED, red, stand for?
What is RED?
Yeah, like if you said, well, what does red stand for?
Oh, I see.
What does red stand for?
Okay, like RED. So like revolutionary, evolutionary dame.
I love it. Are you a revolutionary, evolutionary dame? Now that brings a whole nother energy to it, doesn't it? I love
that.
it. I love it. Yeah, what does it mean to be red? It means many, many things to all of you. Okay, my final question to you. What is something... I love asking this question.
This is like the third final question.
I know
by
it
the way,
is.
but
I
keep
know.
Them, keep
Well,
them
you know,
coming.
because they keep coming. So my third and final question for my sister here who's keeping count is
cross-examination.
What exactly? Okay, what is it that she wants me to ask you? She wants me to ask you, what is one thing that you're willing to share with us today that would be edgy for you to share?
Oh, edgy for me to share. Valentine's Day was 2 days ago, and I made a Valentine with crayons. And it was the first time in so long that I've drawn anything or made art. And I had such a good time. And I thought, oh, there's an artist in me that I've been ignoring.
Aww.
And it was really cute. And it was so scary to make the Valentine for my Waldorf principal boyfriend because he's like an expert with crayons.
He's got a degree in crayons.
Totally teased me about the ridiculousness of my card. Of course he didn't. He was totally moved and touched, and it was a pop-up card.
Oh my goodness!
Of us sitting on like folding chairs next to the pond.
Made
it was so cute.
Card?
Yeah, with my crayons.
Oh, come on.
So that's what's edgy to share right now. Is like
because
just this
it's
vulnerable,
so
like my little girl
cute.
misses making art with crayons, and I finally let her do it.
God. I can tell you we're both crying right now. It's ridiculous. It's so good. It's so good.
You know, it is what it is.
It's the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to just say that, you know, that's the thing is we get to be all of it.
Mm-hmm. Little girl, big goddess, all the things.
All the things, thank God. And that's really what it means to stand fully, you know, our femininity, to get to be all of it. Thank you, Mellissa, darling. Oh, so you can find Mellissa at Channel Your Genius, and you can also find it at soulgift.com.
Soulgiftquiz.com.
Oh, God, get it right.
Soulgiftquiz.com.
Well, you too can find out about what your genius is.
Yeah, that's right.
And until next time, darlings, blessed be. It's been an absolute ride today to be with you, darling. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Red Podcast. It's been an honor to have you here with us. As Red women, we are here leading from the edges of our own evolution, birthing new worlds into being through our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our beautiful presence. If you would like to be in contact with me, I love hearing from you. You can find me on Instagram at Elayne.Kalila or over on my website, ElayneKalila.com. And lastly, I'd like to invite you, if you loved this episode, to go ahead and share this with someone that you think might enjoy it too. It's through us sharing our hearts with one another and inspiring one another that we reveal our red, that evolutionary edge that is just waiting to be fully expressed in all aspects of our world. Until next time, many, many blessings.